Welcome. We got the in-person episode, night at the office.
Oh, yeah.
How y'all boy doing today?
Oh, I'm doing excellent. Great week of football last weekend.
Oh yeah. What about you, dog?
After last night, not the best, but before we come in here on Tuesday, we can chop it up, talk about the game, we get stuff off our chest. And I believe after last night, I definitely gonna need that.
Yeah.
I'm gonna just bring it back up again, saying the Eagles are the worst first seed that the NFL has seen in the past decade.
You wanna go back on the history on that?
Look, last week was a complete defensive blowout by the Eagles, okay? Eagles looked terrible defensively last week. I mean, the Seahawks looked like a prime-time team against that Eagles defense.
That's a lie. That's a lie. We shut down DK for literally 3 quarters.
No. Yeah, DK.
And that's all you need.
No, apparently not. Here, y'all want to start with that game first?
Yeah, let's get into it.
Alright.
The 2017, right?
Yep.
Matter of fact, let me just go ahead and mark some points. First off, Matt Patricia, defensive caller, he actually didn't do that bad in the first half, right? Held them. They didn't score a touchdown. It was like end of the second quarter, and then they started getting hot.
Yeah.
Then the schemes, I mean, our special teams was the only good part of yesterday, I feel like, right? We got them in good field position. Then you knock them down. It's 92-yard field goal, and then you let Drew Lock. First off, Bradbury got torched every pass on that drive. And then you still can't scheme anything to stop it. On top of that, you literally put Keely Ringo on DK and then let Bradbury come back to him. And he still gets torched. So the rookies obviously needs to start over Bradbury. That's one. Eli Ricks does not need to be a slot corner. Put him on the outside because that's what he's good at. And yeah, we're really missing like TJ Edwards and CJ Johnson. Man, we really let them go to pay Bradbury and Slay. Now, Slay, obviously, we miss Slay. Now we can stop the Slay hate because seeing this game is obviously marks how good Slay has actually been this year. And then offensively, I mean, do we need to get into it? We really didn't improve from last week. What do you think?
No, I'm going to start with the fourth quarter performance overall was the most pathetic thing I think I'd ever seen out of Philly.
Mm-hmm.
We look back on the drive by Seattle at the end, but we had multiple chances to go win the game. We were up 4 with 7 minutes left at the 50-yard line. Jalen Hurts throws an interception in the end zone. I mean, let's say we go down and we just get 3 points. That completely changes the momentum of that game.
Like, you see, there was a check down right before he threw it, that deep pass. Right there was Devontae Smith. He ran the shallow. He was open. That's a 10, 15-yard gain. Kenneth Gainwell had an open field for about 20 yards. He still just launched it. He didn't even look.
Yeah. So you look at that, and then obviously Seattle, they get the ball again, don't score, punt the ball back to us. We have the ball with 4 minutes left. Drive in the field, get a first down. It's 3rd and 6. We don't get a first down. We have to punt the ball back to them with under 2 minutes left. And at this point, that's 2 times that we had the ball that we could have won the game, put the game away. And then obviously the defense fails us on the final defensive possession there. Bradbury definitely sold that entire drive. No pass rush, so I mean that's part of it as well. It's just at that point though, I don't want to blame the defense for that game because the offense had multiple opportunities to go finish the deal in the fourth quarter. If we scored on Seattle on one of those 2 drives, they're not going to go down and score. They don't have enough team.
Mm-hmm.
Drew Lock's not going to come back down 10 points in the fourth quarter. But you give them an opportunity with 2 minutes left, down by 4, go ahead touchdown, bam, and then. That wasn't even our last breath. We had a chance to end the game to at least go get a field goal. We moved it down the field. We had 12 seconds left at the 44, I believe. Hurts throws another unnecessary, Hail Mary play that he didn't have to make. So I look at obviously play calling's been an issue all year, but I think it is finally time as an Eagles fan to put Jalen Hurts accountable for his performance
I started doing that last week. I told you the fumbles, the turnover. He's number one. He's tied for number one in turnover this year.
Jalen Hurts is the reason we have lost a couple of games. I mean, he's the reason we lost that game last time. I'm gonna put that game on Hurts, and I know whatever's sick. If you're that sick and you can't perform, don't go play. If you're gonna be half-assed and then you're gonna, after the game, it's are we all committed? No, you're the one that's not. You're the reason we lost that game. Don't try to say, oh, this is a team loss. Obviously, the team didn't, they didn't make the plays when they needed to on defense in the fourth quarter, but the defense played good enough to win the game. And that's how I always look at things. I say if the defense puts up 20 or less points, that is enough defense to win a football game.
But the defense still can't get turnovers, and that's an issue. We suck at getting turnovers.
Yeah.
We can barely get sacks. I mean, Josh Sweat got that one. Reddick almost got another, but it's not like last year when we damn near broke the sack record.
Yeah, but I mean, offense looked better. We ran the ball more than we ran all year.
I mean, we actually scored in the first quarter.
First drive, amazing. The first drive coming out of half, we got the ball after Seattle went and scored the touchdown to Walker. We got the ball, we drove right back down the field, and it was like, damn, this is like the Eagles team that we had last year. It's just that smash mouth. Nothing's going to stop us, and then just when you think you're going to, stop the run, you're going to do a little quick slant to, A.J. Brown across the middle and sort of quick 15 yards. It's just stuff like that. And, Goddard being back has helped so much as far as, opening up more plays, but we're still not able to put it together. And I think at this point, we're definitely in our head and we don't know how to win at this point.
Cody, what you got on it?
Yeah, I mean, like you said, I will give a shout out to that Seattle safety that they had, the Julian Love, who did get both those.
Yeah.
I mean, he had a lock-on performance, only like one catch all night. He had 8 solo tackles. I mean, he showed up. He showed up for Seattle whenever they needed him to, which is great. Drew Lock was surprisingly well this last week, if we're going to be honest as well. I've been thinking that they need to utilize Walker more. And they finally did this last week, and it came out. He put up 80 yards, ran that 23-yarder. Seattle did look decent this week. I'm not sure that they're – not to discredit Eagles, because Eagles obviously made their mistakes. But I think Seattle looked pretty decent this week. They're adjusting to their hurt players, which they're going to have to, which are what a lot of teams are going to have to, if we're going to be honest. But yeah, they seem to have adjusted well, showed up, and took the win.
And
I mean, honestly, I miss Shane Steichen, bro. It's time to also put Sirianni under that bus too, because if we talking about play calling, I mean, who's the fucking head coach? I mean, Nick Sirianni. So
there's a lot that's going into it, and I hate to say it because. If the Eagles didn't get beat down against the 49ers or beat down against Dallas, let's say we won one of those games, this loss doesn't look that bad because obviously it's hard to go win in Seattle. And, I mean, Seattle is not a bad team. I know Drew Lock was playing, but, he didn't make, a bunch of mistakes or anything. So Seattle's not a bad team. So it's not like, if we had beat Dallas or beaten the 49ers and we go in there and we lose by 3 to Seattle on a Monday Night Football game in the rain in Seattle, then it doesn't look bad. But the fact that we've gotten ass beat, 2 weeks before this, and then we come out and basically played well enough to win the game, but didn't close it out, and that's where you got to wonder, damn, we can't even close out games that, we were doing that all year where we were closing. We were at least able to make the plays when we need to. Now, we're not even making the plays that we need to make them. So we're really reeling at this point. And I mean, I'm worried as an Eagles fan, and I know the whole season is still ahead of us. I mean, we're already in the playoffs. We locked that down. And we can still win the NFC East if we just win the next 3 games, which is crazy.
I just think we could have lost those two. I mean, we did, but if we won Seattle, but we handled business like we should have, maybe 20-point win. I think the narrative starts going back to us because first off, we literally beat Cowboys, Chiefs, Bills. That's 3 in a row, 3 heavyweights, right? We lose to the number 1 seed 49ers, who had 10 days to prepare for us, and then we had 3 games in 15 or some days. So, I mean,
we go play Dallas.
You could just mark that up to having a tough schedule and then go into the playoffs and then hope for the best. But now that we lose against Seattle to a backup quarterback, it's just, I don't know.
It is nice that we're back. We're at home. The next 2 games are at home, and we finish in New York. And
if I want to watch
3 winnable games. We win 3 games. Guess what? We get a home game in the playoffs. We don't have to go to Dallas, which is a huge thing for us. I mean, as of right now, there's very, very, very slim chance that we go, that we get the 1 seed. At this point, I don't even want to think about the 1 seed. I just want to win a game.
Yeah, I feel like at this point you don't even need the 1 seed. Even if y'all get that 5 seed, I feel like you're playing the Buccaneers.
Yeah.
Anyways, I feel like it's a free first round win. Of course, Eagles haven't been playing all the past 3 weeks, but if it's the first 10 weeks Eagles, then they're going to bruise us by that first round anyway. So I feel like, luckily with their division, even if they're not first seed, which I don't see them becoming first seed after the past 3 weeks, but even at that 5th seed, them playing either the Buccaneers or the Saints, it looks like, I think it's a free first week bye anyways.
Yeah. I mean, at this point, I don't even know if I want to. I don't know. Right now, I don't think the Eagles could beat the fucking Giants. And
I don't even care. I never even cared, honestly, about what our schedule would be in the playoffs. The playoff games are always going to be tough. I'm not going to make an excuse for any game or try to match the schedule so we can get the easiest one, because in the end, you can still get your ass beat. Yeah. So, I mean, I just want to win games in a good, fashionable manner, but Eagles don't even know how to do that. Mm-hmm. But luckily, Dallas, Buffalo, 10-31, Dallas got their ass beat. Now they're in the first off, we can just go ahead and say that if Dallas has to go on the road in the playoffs, you can send them back home.
Yeah.
And then I think Rob Gronkowski said that they're just mentally weak. Which I mean, if they're mentally weak, the Eagles are fucking terrible right now. Yeah. I have autism. But we can use. I mean, Dak Prescott. I mean, they got empty calorie. They basically did not score until the last 3 minutes of the fourth, which was just stupid that they even put the starters in. But it was a complete rout. James Cook had like 200 rushing yards, while Dallas had like 90 total offensive yards at one point. I mean, it was just a bad showing by Dallas. I mean, what y'all got in the game?
Yeah, but you going?
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
Yeah, I think if you're a Dallas fan, this is, there should be a sense of panic just because, you look at Dallas and Philly, and I just shit talked Philly for 10 minutes just now, but they look like shit. But this entire year, Dallas has not been competent on the road. They have not shown they can do anything on the road as far as going in to beat. I mean, they couldn't beat Arizona on the road. They couldn't beat 49ers on the road. They obviously the 49ers are a tough team, but they didn't beat Philly on the road, and they didn't beat Buffalo on the road. And they're going to have another test this week against Miami on the road. So you look at it this way, Dallas hasn't looked good on the road in 10 years. They haven't looked good all year this year on the road. So, there is, I would panic if I was in Dallas just because, that if you don't get the home games in the playoffs, you're probably going to be sent home, like Gary was just saying. Mm-hmm. And I have the argument maybe like for Philly that, we showed this year that we can win hard games, tough games against good teams on the road or at home on the road, doesn't matter where it's at. We have shown that at least this season that we've been able to at one point. So I think you look, Dallas has not shown that they can win anything against a really meaningful opponent outside of, on their home field. So looking at this week, going into the actual game, Dallas looked like they were not prepared for this game. They went in there, heads up high. They just beat Philly. It was, Super Bowl champions already, just crowned them, but they definitely were not prepared for this game. Defense looked absolutely atrocious. Offense looked even worse. Dak Prescott looked like the old Dak Prescott that we all know. Made plenty of mistakes. The offensive line got beat down, something we haven't seen all year from them. The only bright spot, I guess, for Dallas in this game was, CeeDee Lamb was still, doing his thing for most of the game.
Let me just point out that Cam Newton, a former MVP, said earlier this week that Prescott is not he said he's a game manager, not a difference maker. Everyone was kicking him in the chest, saying, Cam, you're trash, you're not even in the league no more. At the end of the day, he's a former MVP, and he just proved his point.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I've been saying it all year, and then you told me not to criticize Dak because he was having an MVP performance, but I say Dak will always revert. He's in his 8th year. We know what we see. We know what we get from him. He's sure he had a good spurt. I mean, he's in his 8th year. He's better have a good spurt. We're going to get his ass just bench for Trey Lance over there. So, I mean, you could say, yeah, he's having an MVP performance, but it's also like the Eagles' schedule last year. They didn't have the strongest schedule, and then they don't have the strongest schedule heading into it. Like Dallas Dolphins, that's a battle of the frauds. The Dolphins haven't beat anybody. Who else Dallas has on the schedule? Detroit? Okay. That'd be nice.
I believe.
So, I mean, we'll see what Dak is made of, but I still don't even got Cowboys making it out the first round again.
Yeah.
I mean, they have every opportunity to do that, and they have the talent to.
Yeah.
But and of course, you send them AT&T, all bets are off. But as of right now, I don't have Eagles or Dallas in the first round. It's just the way they're playing.
Well, I'll be fair to Dallas. So with Zach Martin hurt that year, like Dalton said, their offensive line looked terrible. I mean, that backup for Zach Martin, I can even name whoever it is, that guard that they put in. I mean, he had to get help all night, which. I mean, it looked like what the Cowboys did to the Eagles last week, where it was just nonstop pressure on Dak Prescott to where he could not think about what he was doing at all. And they held him to under 4 yards an attempt, which has not happened to Dak Prescott at all this year. Plus, I mean, we're going to give it a shout out to the MVP of this week, James Cook. I didn't hear y'all bring him up at all.
I did bring him up. I said he had like 200 yards rushing.
180 yards, 25 carries, 2 touchdowns. I mean, he was a beast. I don't know if y'all saw that run where it was line versus line where they were showing him 7 yards after that hit. James Cook still, got that first down. That was insane as well. That Gregory Rasu, how do you say his name? I'm sorry, the edge defender on the Bills, plus the Leonard Floyd. I mean, they both played incredible games, nonstop pressure on the outsides. Dak did not rotate outside the pocket at all, really, all night because of both of them.
Yeah, they definitely kept him contained.
Yeah,
swarmed.
Yeah, and then Dallas couldn't tackle either.
Yep.
I mean, they missed 12 tackles against the run, which is crazy for an NFL team. Like you said, Dalton, CeeDee Lamb was really the only highlight of Dallas, and even so.
Yeah.
If you just look at the tape from last week. What the 23 rushes we had, I think we still averaged over 6 yards a carry, right, or something like that. So like the run works against Dallas. The Eagles just didn't implement it, and then the Bills did, and then they got good rewards out of it.
It's like that Dallas and Buffalo game. It almost felt like it was like, USC going to play like Alabama or something in college, where it was just like Dallas did not even look like they were even been on the same planet as Buffalo. They just looked, it was almost like they were timid. They just didn't have, they just weren't ready for that game.
Yeah.
They got punched in the mouth the entire game. Buffalo's hot. Buffalo is a damn good team right now, and they're coming off some big wins. They also beat Kansas City a few weeks ago, or last week, I guess you should say. So, obviously that's a good team to go against there in Dallas. So, I want to say Dallas has no shot, I would say, in the road on the playoffs now. You bring them in at home, I don't think there's a team that's going to beat Dallas, at home, unless it's maybe the 49ers, but we won't see that.
Yeah, those are definitely fighting for that playoff spot.
And I'm looking at it now. If the Browns beat the Texans, of course, Bills win, and then Colts lost, they'll be 7th seed.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, if Cincinnati or Colts lose this next week and Bills have to win, then they're either 6th or 7th seed.
Yeah, Buffalo, honestly, I would say Buffalo is probably going to win the division over Miami, because I think Miami is going to lose. I mean, even if they beat Dallas, they still got to play Baltimore after that, and then the winner of that Bills game at the end of the season would actually determine the winner of the division. That's if the Bills were to win their next 2 games, but I don't see the Bills losing their next 2 games. So I think that last week's probably going to be for the division, because I don't think Miami wins. I think they're going to split either Dallas and Baltimore, probably more towards Baltimore. Probably won't beat Baltimore. So you look at that, and it looks like Bills probably will win that division. That's what I think.
So wait, let me ask y'all: if Buffalo wins the division, Say Brock Purdy loses to the Ravens, and then who else? 49ers have pretty much cake besides Ravens, right?
Yeah, they got the Rams.
So say they lose to the Ravens and the Rams. Do you put Josh Allen MVP? With the comeback that he's had, winning the tough AFC division, which y'all put him in the MVP conversation? Think about it. The AFC quarterback, the only other one is Lamar.
Yeah.
But Lamar's performance, you could say, is also helped by the defense. Josh Allen, offensively, is carrying the load for the Bills.
Yeah, but Josh Allen's first half of the season just looks so poor to where I don't know.
But that's the reason I'm asking, because you come back from such a everyone wrote the Bills off. Everyone was saying, "Oh, Bills aren't making the playoffs." Now they might come back, win the whole division.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's attributed to injuries as well, right? If the injuries didn't happen to the quarterback, it wouldn't be this way. But
I think Brock Purdy has a bigger chance than Josh Allen does at this point, if we're going to be honest.
But that's why I'm saying, if Brock Purdy loses 2 of these next couple of games, does that change?
I believe so. I mean, right now, I'm looking at who's favorite right now.
Brock Purdy's negative like 150. He's the only one to be like negative all season.
Yeah.
And then everyone else is like plus 250, plus 350. I think second place is it's LJ, and then third is C-Mac.
Yeah.
No, it's not C-Mac.
Right now, it's looking like Offensive Player of the Year is going to be C-Mac. Or had to be second.
Oh yeah, C-Mac winning offense. There's nobody beating that out. I mean, he has 20 total TDs.
Yeah. His performance this year. I mean, his performance every year is.
Yeah.
But then going to a 49ers game, they smacked the Cardinals, who did beat Cowboys, by the way. So that just even makes the Cowboys look even worse, which is beautiful. But they handling business. I said they're going to beat anybody by 10 plus points. They beat the Cardinals 10 plus points, just like I said. Powerhouse, Debo and C-Mac going off. Brock Purdy making throws. I mean, they just look complete right now. I mean, they look the most dangerous team in the league right now until their Christmas game against the Ravens.
That game's going to be families.
Mm-hmm.
Right after Lakers Celtics NBA.
Oh, it's on Monday?
It's on Monday.
Oh,
yeah. You got Celtics Lakers at 4 and at 7.
Okay.
Transition to NFL.
Yeah, I thought it was a Sunday game for some reason. Yeah, that's gonna be beautiful.
The Eagles play on Monday too.
Are they're doing multiple? They're doing 2-3 games on Monday.
Christmas Day, yeah.
Okay. Matter of fact, let me mess with this playoff machine. Going to the, we already know 49ers are top dogs right now, matching with the Ravens. But do y'all got them really just blowing everybody out in the playoffs right now?
The way that they've been looking, yes.
Yeah.
100%. I think that they're on their way to win a Super Bowl right now. The way that the 49ers are looking.
Let's go into. Yeah, let's get into Miami Jets. Miami 30, Jets 0, blowing them out. Obviously, Jets aren't really impressive, but then it still keeps Miami in the 3rd seed facing Indianapolis. Now, Indianapolis, they're just sneaky good. Like I don't get it really. I mean, Gardner. We know what Gardner Minshew is, but how is Gardner? We should credit this to Shane Steichen. This is why I said I miss him. He might be coach of the year if Colts make the playoffs, because he's out here. All they got is what JT. I think Zach Moss and who else got hurt? Was it Pittman?
Yeah.
Zach Moss, and I think Pittman got hurt because they just signed another receiver. But other than that, Colts really do have like a solid team, right? Like if Anthony Richardson was there, rookie-wise, I don't think the Colts would be in this position. So you got to give credit to Gardner Minshew.
Oh yeah, 100%. I don't think the Colts look like a terrible team by any means. Just the way that their conference is, because they also have to fight out Houston and Jacksonville as well.
And Texans got a nice little win this week as well.
So yeah, I think that this is I don't know if the Colts even make it, if we're gonna be honest with you.
Well, they definitely have to win against the Falcons.
But
even if they lose, they're still the 7th seed.
Yeah. As long as Bills lose next week as well.
Yeah, that's right. Okay. No, I have it. It'll be 7 seeds and then 6 seed Buffalo.
Oh, so do you see?
You're on the same thing I am.
Do you see the Bengals losing?
Who the Steelers? I mean, it's possible. I mean, that's the thing about the Steelers. You don't know. You know what I mean? Like, you just don't know.
Really like a roulette table when you're watching.
And I don't know if Pickett's even. I think no. They said Mason Rudolph is playing.
Yeah, Mason Rudolph playing now.
Yeah. So I mean, you put you got a third string coming in against backup QB who's. I mean, he's balling out right now. I mean, but at the same time, Steelers defense like to show up at random times. So I mean, that's a pick me game if I'm being honest.
That's very important. Oh, the Lions stomping out the Broncos this last week as well, kind of killing the Broncos' playoff hope.
See, when the Broncos get blown out, they get blown out.
That's kind of sad. Yeah, I was really cheering for the Broncos, to be honest.
Yeah, I picked the Broncos last time to be in the playoff, but now I'm just like about that.
Yeah, I really wasn't looking low. I mean, Jared Goff had an incredible game, though. 5 touchdowns.
Oh yeah. And Sam Laporta is a freaking baller, bro.
Even so, their Lions defense just looked crazy this last week as well.
Go ahead.
Plus, their Gibbs. Gibbs is finally getting his.
Oh yeah, Gibbs is feeding families. I see that for you.
So, I'm glad. I mean, Montgomery, don't get me wrong, is a great running back, but Gibbs is one of the.
I just think you let it's like the home run. You let Gibbs run it home, but then if it's 3rd and 1, 3rd and 2, let Montgomery power that bitch too. He's older. He's not gonna get as many runs. You might as well use his body while you can.
Yeah, even so, Laporta with the 3 touchdowns as well. That rookie tight end that the Lions got too.
Laporta is the next Kelsey right now.
Yeah, a pretty dominant performance for the Lions this week. Definitely showing why they're placed the way that they're placed, why they're winning their division. I mean, it's kind of been I don't want to say a sleeper team, but no.
I forgot to bring this up last week. So with Jared Goff, right? He's Super Bowl quarterback, lost. Rams said, you know what? Let's trade him for Stafford. Stafford ended up winning the Super Bowl. So do you think Jared Goff just has the DNA to even win games in the playoffs? Like, he's been there once, right? But, like, he got traded off of a Super Bowl team.
Yeah.
And it's like his identity is kind of gone. I mean, he's still balling out, but he's still, the guy that never did it. So, like, what do y'all think Jared Goff's ceiling is for these Lions team?
Well, I think the Lions, they've improved, year by year. And ever since, like last year, they were almost in the playoffs. And this year, I mean, obviously, they're going to be in the playoffs. So, he's just kind of a product where the Lions aren't better than the 49ers, obviously. They're not going to be, probably not better than Dallas. And
right now, they would face Tampa.
Yeah.
First
I think
round.
they'd beat Tampa first round, and then they'd go into the divisional round and have to face, Philly or it's Philly or the 49ers. I don't think they're
right now it'd be oh no, I lied. If the Rams win,
and honestly, what?
You said what, Curtis?
First round Vikings supposed to play Lions. Because they're at 60. Are you predicting that Rams go up to 60?
I'm predicting the Rams win this week, and then that the what's your name loses. I'm predicting Rams win and then Vikings lose, and that pushes Seattle back up to 7th, and then it actually knocks Tampa to 4th. So it'll be Philly, Tampa, Detroit, Seattle.
Yeah. Yeah, I can see that happening. Vikings quarterback situation is looking pretty brutal over there. I'm not sure the Vikings, if they do make the playoffs, could make anything happen in the playoffs. I think it would be a discredit to Seattle with how they've been playing. And honestly, the adjustments that they've made week on week with injuries.
Yeah, Seattle's is sneaky dangerous, right? Like they lock it, and then DK is actually unstoppable, right? We just got good at bracketing him last game, but you throw the ball to DK, it's pretty much Devontae Adams type stuff. Yeah, and people are calling for Pete Carroll to be fired. I actually don't think so. I mean, I don't think Pete Carroll's the problem.
I mean, what adjustments should you make to the Seattle team that he hasn't been making for you? I don't see this on Pete Carroll at all.
I was like, I don't see a coach that would be better than Pete Carroll right now on that team. So I think Seattle's in a good place, right? You get Geno back healthy. Rams could also make a sneaky run, be 6th seed, and face Dallas. That would be a great game, actually.
Yeah, I think the Rams would be a very sneaky playoff team.
Yeah, because, Stafford got that DNA.
And I think if there was a team that's built to beat the 49ers, I'd say it's Rams, just because they've already done it.
And McVay is still a good coach. Don't get it twisted.
Yeah. So I think the Rams are probably the scariest wild card team in all of the NFL right now. I like them over any of the AFC teams unless you consider Buffalo the wild card team.
Yeah, it'd be NFC, I go Rams, AFC, I go Buffalo for sure. Yeah.
But I don't know what you guys are looking at as far as that division, but do you think Miami wins that division or Buffalo?
You know what? I'm going to limb. I'm going to go because Miami would have to lose out. Buffalo would have to win out.
Well, Miami only has to lose one game. Miami only has to lose either because, they only have to lose 2 games. I'm assuming, let's say they do lose to Buffalo last week of the season, so they have to lose to either Dallas or the Ravens. Pretty good chance they lose both of those games. You can give them the Dallas one.
Yeah, so I'll go Buffalo. Yeah.
I'm looking. It looks like Buffalo's going to win that division, and it's going to be that's kind of scary. That means you got to go to Buffalo to win a playoff game. So.
Yeah, because it's Buffalo Chargers, that's light. Buffalo Pats, that's light, and then Buffalo Dolphins. Yeah, so Buffalo could very well win the division. They got some solid wins. Josh Allen, baby.
Josh Allen.
Speaking of quarterback performances, I heard something out of your mouth. Baker to the Super Bowl. I need you to explain yourself.
God damn. Baker Mayfield, the best quarterback of Week 15, 2023-2024 season. Let me tell you what.
Goddamn pitiful.
This last week, wow. It was just, what could you do to stop Baker Mayfield this last week? There's not a single thing. This is the first time I'm ever saying this about NFL Baker. When he was on OU, it was kind of expected that he would do this. Don't get me wrong. But NFL Baker has been nothing like OU Baker.
Except on the Browns. And then he went to the Rams, handled business. He didn't have a bad stint with the Rams. He just got a bad opportunity.
Yeah, he did do pretty decent on the Rams. I forgot about that. He did that little stint on the Rams whenever Stafford was hurt.
But then, he went on with the Panthers. That was bad. What was the other team? He did one more, or that was it?
I'm pretty sure that was it. Honestly, I don't remember him on the Panthers. That's what I'm saying. He's going to rotate him.
He's on the Panthers for a minute,
yeah.
Yeah, he got a passer rating of 160 this last week, which is...
Hold on, real quick, before you continue. What is passer rating? How did they measure that? Fully? Because if people have perfect passer ratings and then have, an interception, and I'm like, well, how do you measure this?
It's based on pass attempts, completions, passing yards, touchdown passes, and interceptions.
Okay.
I don't think Baker threw any. Yeah, Baker didn't throw an interception this last week.
Okay.
He has 4 touchdowns, 0 interceptions, threw for almost 400 yards. He averaged 14 yards a throw. Holy shit.
Because, I'm looking at, there was the game, and this is just an example. Drew Brees had 29 for 30, 307, 4 TDs, 0 interception, but didn't have a passer rating. But then Baker had that game. How many throws he missed?
6.
He missed 6 throws and got a perfect passer rating. So I'm just confused on how that's measured, but go ahead.
Yeah, I don't.
I just don't like to use it to measure how good they actually playing.
Who are you comparing to?
I was just comparing it to a Drew Brees stat line that didn't get a perfect passer rating.
That makes sense.
But yeah, Baker went crazy. Honestly, Jordan Love had a good game too. Packers defense just shit the bed.
Yeah. Oh yeah, 100%. Yeah. Buccaneers offense looked great. Rashad White played great.
Oh,
Just
played
what they
great.
needed. Chris Godwin, of course, the sleeper behind Mike Evans. Chris Godwin's been consistent for the past 3 years on that.
For the past 2 weeks, been going crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, Chris Godwin is definitely a great wide receiver as well. I mean, Mike Evans, top 5 wide receivers right now. I think that's him as well. And I will make that argument if y'all want to argue that.
Top 5?
Top 5 right now. Top 5 in the NFL.
CD, AJ, Stephon.
Tyreek. Lamar Chase,
I get-
Jefferson.
They're
Lamar
hurt.
Chase this year.
They're both hurt. That's why I'm like,
I can argue. I mean, I can't. I'm not going to disrespect Mike Evans whatsoever.
yeah, no, for sure.
He's
He's
consistently a great player.
Consistent.
He's not
First ballot
season
Hall of
where he's
Famer.
less than half.
You know, Super Bowl champion. He's been good with every quarterback he's had thrown to him.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll say that. Okay. That's fair.
Yeah, Green Bay. I mean, Green Bay was playing great the past few weeks. They just could not get past this Buccaneers offense. It's not like Buccaneers defense really showed out to play. Jordan Love played decent as well. I mean, he 29 for 39, 300 yards, almost no interceptions. It's just how can you stop somebody who has a stat line linebacker right this week?
But now-
Tampa won that division. You know?
He did pick it, and then Tampa's defense still looks good. Like, they have the pieces from the Super Bowl team. I'm not going to write, like, Tampa could have, I'll say it now. If Baker plays like this, Tampa could win a playoff game. I wrote them off that they wouldn't. But with the way, like, say, the Cowboys and the Eagles are playing, like, they can be
I
happy.
was going to say, I'm like, they're going to play Dallas or Philly in 1 to 2.
So, I mean, you slip up on them. Did we play Tampa last year?
No, Dallas did.
That okay.
Dallas beat him. We played him.
Yeah, we had a
4
bye.
loss.
Yeah, we had a bye. I'm tripping.
We'll see how Buccaneers play these last 3 weeks out. I mean, this was definitely just a standout performance from them every other week this year. We haven't said any praises for their direction or anyone in that division's direction. So I'm still not going to call them a threat just as of yet. I want to see a little more consistent performance from Baker. But yeah, if he shows up like this the next few weeks, then it's going to be a fun NFC playoffs.
I think Packers will be in the playoff picture next year. I like Jordan Love play lately, honestly.
Yeah. He's been playing great, if we're going to be honest. I mean, he really didn't have a bad week this last week. I wasn't going to put the loss on him this week at all.
He's 10th in the league in pass yards, 5th in the league in touchdowns. Yeah, I mean, it's going under the radar, but I mean, because the Packers lost the last 2 weeks, they're kind of out of the picture now. Another team out the picture now is the Bears, right? They can still win in there, but I think the Bears are done for this year after the loss to the Browns. I mean, Browns played pretty good, really a defensive game.
Always.
Every week,
Yeah.
the Bears it is.
Yeah, there was like, there was 5 interceptions total. Fields was 2, Flacco was 3.
Dustin Phillips played pretty well. He
Yeah.
played.
Did we watch the same game?
I watched it. I feel like his wide receivers sold that game a couple times.
Oh yeah, what Mooney had that? Yeah, okay.
Wide
I see what you
open,
mean.
Touchdown, and then obviously, I don't want to count the Hail Mary as a drop pass.
Yeah.
It's just,
I get what you
but
mean.
Justin Fields did make a few plays. I mean, obviously, he doesn't have the best supporting cast there.
I guess when you face the Browns defense too.
Horrible. So, I think Justin Fields played a pretty solid game. Not a great game, but he showed, what he can do. I think they're things that he can do better, but I don't want to run off. I think Justin Fields, I mean, he may not be meant for Chicago, but he is a good NFL quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He deserves a starting job. If it's not Chicago, it's, Atlanta definitely needs him. Man, oh my God, Atlanta is so bad.
And you see what DJ Moore said. He said Caleb Williams or Drake May ain't better than Fields, and I agree. I mean, Fields is in his 3rd year.
Yeah.
So, I mean, like, a veteran QB over one out of college, and they have similar play styles. I'm going to take Fields every time.
Oh, yeah.
But then the Browns looking up. Obviously, as of now, they're a lock for the 5th seed. Flacco doing his thing. Threw the ball away a couple times, but, I mean, he's no quarterback. You get what you get. I think they upped his contract, too. He gets, like, $75,000 per win, and then it goes up in the playoffs, like, what, $250,000, $500,000, and $2 million if he wins the bowl. So I mean, Flacco's playing for some money now.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, it doesn't matter who you put in that quarterback position of the Browns team. Like the
It
Saints.
does matter because you put DTR in that bed and y'all damn near lost out. What are you talking about?
Yeah, I mean, Joe Flacco, I would say it was a bad week for him. I mean, don't get me wrong, he still had almost 400 yards, but he threw away interceptions at probably the worst times of the game. There's no reason for 400 yards against you 2017. He definitely had, plus didn't he have that fumble as well he had that fumble as well I mean, just rotate quarterbacks to the Browns, it doesn't matter. Just put in whoever's playing great that week at practice. The defense shows up every single week. Still the best defense in the league, not even close. I mean, Justin Fields is a great quarterback, like y'all were saying. We'll touch on the Bears for a second. I don't think the pieces around him are good enough to really showcase his talent.
I get what you're saying, but think DJ Moore, Cole Kmet, those are two very, very solid pieces. You put those on two, like DJ Moore and Cole Kmet, give them to CJ Stroud. He's going to do some numbers.
Yeah. I mean, those are two great. I mean, DJ Moore especially is a great.
The Bears have by far the worst offensive line in the league.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Top 30 worst offensive line. So
I mean, he got sacked 3 times.
The Bears defense isn't, they've been the best. So I think, Justin Fields has not been into a situation
at all.
But I think he has a lot of talent. I mean, he needs to go to Atlanta. I've said it in 2 months now.
I personally want him on the Saints, but I think the Saints should actually.
I was just thinking the Saints.
But I think the Saints should actually blow up the entire team, right? Yeah. Let's get into them real quick. Actually, Saints losing to the no, they won against the Giants. My fault. They shut Tommy DeVito down. I mean, that's the only game they really look good. Getting a win against the Giants ain't gonna do much. But like I said, I think they should blow the entire Saints team up. Right? Keep Olave, keep Kamara, keep Taysom Hill, keep Jameis just as a backup, and then as a stand-in starter. I mean, I guess you can keep Carr. Because you just signed him. You probably have no choice, but everybody else just gotta go. Switch up the defense, switch up the receivers, get another running back. It's Jamal Williams and who else is AK? Yeah. So I mean, I don't know. Get another solid back besides Williams in there. I don't know. Saints, you gotta switch it up. They're living off the fame of when they went to the conference championship and lost by that missed flag, right?
Yeah.
They got a similar team from there, and they just ain't got the quarterback play. So I think they just need to go ahead and blow it up and probably do that one.
Yeah. I realized we still haven't talked about that blowout game with the Raiders yet.
I mean, is there any need to? The Chargers have been so bad the entire season. I think when we looked at the score, we said, "Oh, that makes sense."
Yeah.
And Justin Herbert wasn't playing. I mean, they probably still would have got him going out with him playing, but I mean.
Yeah, even with that, Vegas still isn't even close to making the playoffs. It's both those teams.
Some chances out there, and it's not because Vegas has played horrible. It's just AFC is just tight right now. I mean, those teams just keep winning, but they're all playing each other. I mean, you got the Browns, Colts, Texans, Jaguars. I mean, they're all just it's a bloodbath there.
Ooh, that Bills-Vikings game as well. I'm sorry, not the Bills-Vikings. Bengals-Vikings.
Bengals keep winning too.
Yeah, Bengals showing that they are wanting to make the playoffs.
But they're not going to make it. Jamar Chase is out.
Will the Bengals make it? See, I had the Bengals in.
Y'all see that catch by T. Higgins though?
Browns out. I kind of feel stupid because the Browns are damn near still now. 2 weeks ago, I said the Browns weren't going to make it, and mostly the Browns probably won't make it.
I like the T. Higgins party, right? Y'all saw that catch. I saw that catch live. Toe tap, and then that is such high IQ to swing your body, still get it rolling out of bounds, still hit the pylon. Like that's as high IQ as you get for a wide receiver. Beautiful play, T. Higgins. Jamar Chase out with probably same back injury, I think, or I don't remember the details, but I mean, maybe. That's why I say the Steelers is more of a toss-up because you're missing a top receiver. Steelers defense still got some pieces. They do win this. I'll lock them in for the playoffs, but Yeah, I don't know. I mean, still the Bengals has always been a rivalry game, anyways.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter who's playing, but
I feel like with the way that Jake Browning's been playing the past 2 weeks, he could get a starting QB job on a decent amount of these other teams. I mean, he's been
what team
playing-
would you put him on?
I would say put him on the Falcons over Justin Fields,
Really?
just because the Falcons, he just needs more. His awareness is not all there. He can see the field and he can make the pass that he needs to make the pass, but his awareness in the pocket is like, I mean, it definitely needs to be worked on. He got sacked 4 times. He ran into his own line twice. I mean, besides that, he had a great week. Like y'all said, Jamar Chase wasn't there, but T. Higgins, I mean, how do you count out T. Higgins? How do you count out Joe Mixon?
T. Higgins is probably going to be a wide receiver 1 on somebody else's team next year.
Uh-huh.
Also, hot take, I would play Jake Browning on the Patriots.
Oh,
Or, I guess you got Sam Howell on the Commanders. Yeah, I'll leave that there. Yeah, I would put Jake Browning on the Patriots.
Somehow I was going to play well. Get off over that game real quick. Yeah, they played the Rams. Rams showed up that week, but even so, I mean, Commanders looked
Terrible. Shitty. There's no other word for the Commanders in that game.
no.
Like, I mean, you can look at the score, but then also if you just watch the tape, Commanders look all over the place. Like, I don't know what they're doing there. Did Sam Howell get knocked out the game? Because I came back and Jacoby Brissett was
out. They swapped him. They dropped
They did.
Yeah.
They just benched him.
Put Brissett in.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, Sam Howell.
But he's like leading the league in passing, or like top 5 or top 10.
Yeah, I mean, not this last week. I mean, Rams defense made the adjustments they needed to Commander. I mean, they made Sam Howell look terrible this last week. He's been playing great all season. This last week, I mean, he only had 100 yards before they subbed him out in the 4th.
Oh, it was the 4th. Okay.
Yeah, they subbed him out in the 4th quarter. I mean, you having 100 yards in the first 3 quarters is terrible. Brissett came out and threw for 130 in the 4th quarter.
Yeah,
Brissett actually came out with a 155 rating, 8 for 10, 125 yards.
I'm not gonna lie, I didn't even know Brissett was on the team. Like, where did he even come from?
I feel like he's one of the quarterbacks that just shows up.
Yeah,
How the fuck is he?
like when I heard Case Keenum was playing for the Texans, I was like, didn't Bo retire?
Yeah.
I'm like,
and how to make the adjustments to the quarterback this year, especially.
yeah, the quarterback injuries are egregious this year.
Uh-huh.
I mean, obviously Sam Howell didn't get hurt, but he played like he was hurt. So
Yeah. Here, we'll talk about the highlights of the Rams. I mean, Kyron Williams showed up. No one.
Cooper Kupp.
Yeah, Cooper Kupp. Yeah.
for the last 3 weeks, Cooper has been on a tear, showing why he was
yeah.
that number 1 receiver that year.
Yeah, the Rams wideouts, right? I mean, they're deadly, especially with Nakua, that rookie was showing up while Kupp was hurt. And they got Higbee out there still as well. They got Robinson out there. Offensively, the Rams aren't really lacking.
You could argue they're the best pass offense in the league besides the Niners, just because of how versatile the Niners are.
Yeah.
Like, and Stafford's a gamer, bro. Stafford don't care.
Mm-hmm. See, and
Go ahead.
he plays gamble football most of the time, just like Josh Allen. They both are very accurate passers, throwing for, averaging 350 yards a game. But, I mean, they're both going to throw 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions to get those stats.
I mean, when you're having a year like this, I mean, you got to gamble.
Yeah.
Like,
This week, he kept it alive by not throwing any interceptions. I mean, it's kind of hard to throw whenever Washington's defense plays like how they were. But, Rams are definitely showing up. I think y'all are right about them staying in the playoffs. And I think as long as their defense shows up to play, they have the offensive weapons to contend. That's for sure.
go ahead.
I was going to say, do you guys think that we're starting to see almost like a change in the NFL where you don't have to have the best quarterback in the league to win games? Like this year, backup quarterbacks are definitely keeping up with the starting quarterbacks, where it's almost like the skill gap has definitely shrunk so much.
Well, let's look at
who's everywhere. But
let's look at who like who's been replaced. So Gardner Minshew, veteran backup. You replace Anthony Richardson, who's a rookie. Okay, Anthony Richardson didn't get enough time in the film room. You could say Gardner Minshew would have been the better option anyways. Then you go to Jake Browning to Joe Burrow. Jake Browning learned under Joe Burrow, who's been to the Super Bowl in the first 2 years. You could just say that. I mean, I don't know what college Jake Browning went to. Honestly, I thought he went to Georgia for a second, but I had it confused. But you could just say that he learned under a good quarterback, and also he's on the sideline calling plays. Joe Burrow is, so it's like you're getting the help from another one. You go to Joe Flacco. He's a veteran QB replacing Deshaun Watson.
Yeah.
You go to what is it? The Giants are not in the picture. Who else is the
Vikings?
The Vikings. The Vikings is probably the only QB situation that ain't been fixed. Yeah. Right? You're just getting temporary solutions week in, week out. They ain't really got no identity there. I still think the starting QB is important. Just if you match it up quarterback to quarterback.
Because we look at we're talking about MVP and stuff, and you're like, you're saying the MVP favorites Brock Purdy or Lamar Jackson, but you look at both of them, and you're like, well, Brock Purdy has C.J. McCaffrey, Deebo Samuel, Lamar Jackson has a great defense, so it's like, I feel like this is like the first time where I feel like we don't have like a Brady, Manning, situation where there's the quarterback is just so dominant. Like even Mahomes, I mean, like you look at it this year, there just hasn't been a just dominant quarterback that's outplaying everyone else. I feel like everything is all the skill positions are finally caught up to where they're almost as important, equally important, or almost as important as the quarterback now. Where you got to have a number one wide receiver, you got to have a strong defensive line, offensive line, where it's a little bit different now, where the quarterback's not carrying everything anymore.
Yeah, it's not the era where Drew Brees is throwing 5,000 yards and you got Peyton and Eli right behind him with 45, and you know what I mean. Like those, if you really think about it, those are crazy ass numbers.
Yeah, and it's like, I don't know if it's like NFL is just evolving just because there's so much more skilled players and everyone's an athlete now.
They're bigger, they're stronger, they're faster.
Offensive linemen are fast. You got
And the game is getting softer, right? Like it's like almost easier to I don't know. There's a lot more penalties. I just feel like, right? So teams are moving up the field more, less yards are being gained, but also there's still being breakaway plays too. It's like it's a good balance. I mean,
and even you look at the quarterback position, it's evolved so much. Defense is just so quick that you have to have some sort of mobility at this point. There's not. I don't know if there's a pocket quarterback in the NFL right now.
Maybe.
I mean, I can't.
I'll take that, right?
Maybe
Stroud, maybe Herbert.
Stroud, maybe Burrow, I guess. But I mean,
now Burrow's just a little mobile, right? Not as.
It's like you don't have the Peyton Mannings, the Brady's that just stood there, or Breeze that just stood there in the pocket for the entire game. It's just the game has changed so much. And
the game
is really cool.
I think to win the Super Bowl, you still do have to have a great quarterback.
For sure.
Yeah. I think making the playoffs this year, just because there's been so much variation, so many injuries, like you said, I feel like this NFL, especially this year compared to last, has just been so much faster paced.
Yeah.
But
low scoring too.
If we're gonna look at the previous Super Bowl winners, I mean, last year was Kansas City, Patrick Mahomes. I mean, even so, Patrick Mahomes is playing great this year. It's his wide receivers that have been playing like shit, dropping everything.
I beg to differ. Right, there is sometimes. I mean, you could also blame it on Andy Reid, but they gamble a lot too. Right now, maybe they're gambling because they know the receivers aren't up to par. Yeah. But at the same time, they're just gambling a lot. They're still doing those plays that don't really need to be ran. Patrick over there doing some side throws that don't need to be thrown. But at the same time, it's like you said, they have the most drops in the league. So, I can't really tell which is the dominator here. But I think Patrick Mahomes, I mean, he's still a great quarterback. I'm not saying nothing against that, but I still think his play could be better this year. I would put him at a B+ rather than an A. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I don't know. And it seems like the Chiefs are just getting a pass for,
I mean, they're the champs.
They are the champs, but it's just like you look at it And it's just like they're just getting a pass for just not playing great. But they've lost 4 out of the last 7. They've lost 2 out of the last 3. Obviously, they beat the Patriots. So maybe it was even a somewhat competitive game against the Patriots. So I don't know.
Let's talk about Tony real quick. Kadarius freaking Tony just called. First off, he blamed the refs in the post game. He said, "I think it's bogus. The refs saw me over the line, decided not to call it anyways. Got deciding the game." That's not the exact quote. That's what he was saying. But then Patrick, Andy Reid get fined, cost the teams $150K. They stick it up for you. They taking your back. Then you come out the next week and bobble an easy open pass for an interception that almost get the pass back in the game.
Mm-hmm.
Like I really think, and James at work, big Chiefs fan. I was like, y'all need to cut him, and he's like, he should have been cut last week.
Yeah.
So I mean, I don't get the hype behind Kadarius Toney. I'm with the analysts that say like he got released off the Giants because he's not good at all. He doesn't take accountability. Like if he just said, "Yeah, my foot was over the line, I'll fix it," like this wouldn't have looked that bad, right? But he's over there still blaming it on the refs, and he probably blaming it on the refs now. He's like, "Oh yeah, the refs didn't tell me I couldn't catch the ball." Like
I think the only reason the Chiefs haven't cut him, traded him out, made him not play,
They ain't got
they don't
nothing.
have any better options.
Yeah.
They just put Sky Moore on IR. They still have McCole Hardman, who's probably gonna come up now or get a little bit more reps. They don't have anybody else.
Yeah. This is reminiscent of the Rams team last year, right after they won the Super Bowl. I mean, the Rams team last year, after they won the Super Bowl, did not look like they were Super Bowl contenders whatsoever. I mean, they looked terrible last year. They could not do anything to the offense. Their wideouts sucked last year as well.
Yeah, Rams. Yeah, no,
No, Rams didn't even make the playoffs last year.
But also, I think Stafford got hurt again last year. Right?
Stafford was hurt.
Yeah, because Baker. Yeah.
So I mean, you could, but also that's the thing though, right? Stafford come back now; they're kind of back in the picture. It's like they still have some of that DNA in them. That's why I really give credit to McVay, honestly.
It seems like teams get comfortable after they win the Super Bowl. I don't remember any notable trades that the Chiefs made this last year, this last offseason, besides Tyreek Hill. I mean, I don't remember any other significant trade that the Chiefs made. I don't think they made any adjustments. I think they were just counting on riding the wave again and just winning another.
Yeah, because they should have gotten D-Hop. They didn't.
Yeah.
Now D-Hop is over there with Will Levis. D-Hop probably gonna leave after this year anyway. But
they're at that point where it's just like their money is so tied up in Mahomes, Kelsey,
Jones, Chris Jones got that contract. I mean, the Chiefs defense is still lights out. Like you wouldn't know. Well, like the Chiefs defense is playing their asses off. They're just having some trouble on the offensive end, having to play a little bit more reps. I mean, Chiefs are still gonna be in the picture. I mean, Patrick Mahomes is probably going to have to play a road game in the playoff. We've never seen it before. We'll see what he's made of there. But who does he play? He will play – it'll be in the second round he played a road game, right?
Yeah,
they win the division.
They'll get at least one home game.
Yeah, like that.
It looks like against the Bengals.
Bengals, Colts, yeah.
So they'll probably have to face that'll be
But the road game would be against
Miami if they win.
They'd play the 2 seeds. So whoever
Miami.
The 2 seeds, so Miami or Buffalo.
Yeah.
I guess Buffalo
Yeah. Because Buffalo's gonna make
the
it.
Chiefs would probably be the 2 seed. Because assume Baltimore's the 1 seed, then the 2 seed would probably be.
You think the Chiefs beat the Bills or the Dolphins right now?
I think they beat the Dolphins. I don't know if they beat
the Bills. They're not beating the Bills.
They just lost to the Bills, so I don't know.
They're not beating the Bills.
They lost to the Bills at home.
Honestly, they might not even beat the Dolphins.
Yes,
offensively, they can't
beat the Dolphins right
now. Like they're getting so many drops. It's like I don't know how many points the Chiefs are going to score each week. You know what I mean? Like they might score 14 just because they dropped 2 red zone passes or something.
But I mean, is Patrick Mahomes in the playoffs? I don't know. I mean, there's not a team that I want to really. I mean, that I would count to beat Patrick Mahomes in the playoffs. I mean, I don't think Buffalo is probably the team that could beat him just because they just played so many times. But I don't think Baltimore will beat Kansas City in the playoffs.
Let's look at these little next week games real quick. These are gonna be some important games. Pulling up, and Curtis, I want you to pull it up on yours, the playoff machine. Let's really like pick and get these seedings right compared to last week's.
Yep.
Because I think I took the Bills out of it and put the Broncos in. I'm gonna replace them now. I had Browns 5th. I had Chiefs 2. Basically, I have the same thing, but yeah, I'm gonna swap Broncos and Bills. And then I think I also had the Colts in there. No, I had Texans. I did have Texans.
Yeah, I mean, big games for next week will be Texans-Browns.
Mm-hmm.
If Texans win that, the Texans do have a fighting playoff chance. I don't see Texans beating the Browns next week, if we're going to be honest, especially with C.J. Stroud out.
But it was only a concussion, right? He'll probably be back in.
You think he will be?
Let me double check. Was it a concussion? I don't know. There was a bunch of concussions.
Concussion.
Yeah, it was concussion.
Another one, yeah, I mean, obviously the highlight game of the week would be the Ravens 49ers. Do we see the Chiefs beating the Raiders next week after how the Raiders played this last week?
If this was 2 weeks ago, I said the Raiders were beating the Chiefs. Honestly, the way the Chiefs been looking, they could win, but there's no reason for the Raiders to win, right?
Yeah.
So I'm going to go ahead and take the Chiefs.
And then another highlight game would be Cowboys-Dolphins. Dolphins are fighting to secure their second seed.
I really do not like it. I'm going to just take Cowboys over Dolphins. I want the Cowboys to lose, but I ain't seen enough from the Dolphins to really.
It's in Miami, though.
Yeah.
It isn't. It's the Cowboys.
That's the only Achilles. It's a road game, but I really feel like look at our game. Like our defense was still mid, and we held them. You know what I mean? Like Cowboy defense is better than ours right now, so I think they'll hold the Dolphins off.
We're going to battle the 4 seeds. We got the Jaguars playing the Bucks. I mean, with the way the Buccaneers are playing this last week, Buccaneers are taking it as long as they play the same way. Jaguars. Did we even touch on the Ravens-Jaguars game this last week?
Yeah, we do. It's just not as much. I mean,
yeah.
But like,
it didn't live up to the hype.
You said what?
Definitely didn't live up to the hype.
yeah.
Yeah, Jaguars look terrible. I mean,
Jaguars matter of fact, all of these AFC teams, besides the Bengals, okay, I'll put the Bengals. I was gonna say all of the from 1 to 7, they could win a playoff game and maybe even make the Super Bowl, except the Jaguars. Like literally 1 through 7. Like it'll be any given Sunday. They're mostly gonna be rivalry games. Like any one of these AFC teams could just catch heat and make the Super Bowl on some BS, you know? Because the Chiefs aren't top dog, right? Ravens are top dog, right? So it'll probably be Ravens versus whoever. Ravens, Dolphins, Ravens, Browns, Ravens, Texans, right? And those are all games that the Ravens could lose.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, right now, if it stays, if playoff stays the way that it is, where Jaguars keep their 4th, Cleveland keeps 5th, it would be Baltimore has the first round bye. Right now, I see the Browns beating the Jaguars, which would mean it would be the Ravens versus the Browns. I think that would be a great game, honestly. I think Ravens will still come up in the end, but Lamar Jackson has not had a defensive test like the Browns.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Like you just you catch them on the wrong night, bro. Like any one of these teams are hitting that, right? I just don't have faith in Jacksonville right now. They don't got enough. Like say if Miami gets back on their, all right, we're just gonna run them out the building, right? Like they get back on that. I think A-Chain's coming back.
Yeah.
So they get that offense flowing again. They can make a big run. The Houston, they still got Tank Dell and all them. But I did see a stat that like C.J. Stroud's like the least accurate quarterback in the league right now, which is crazy to think compared to his numbers. But I mean, if you put that in consideration with the playoff defense, such as like the Browns or the Ravens, that might cause them real trouble. But
yeah, I think it's gonna come down to, AFC Championship game is gonna be either Mahomes or Allen going into Baltimore to go against Lamar. I know this is something that we've talked about. You've talked about forever. Lamar gets his chance. To go to the Super Bowl. He's not going to blow it, but we'll see.
At this point, the Ravens are my Super Bowl favorite, right?
Yeah.
L-Jack, number 8, that's my guy. But
we're going to get the Super Bowl preview, as some will say, this week. So we'll see what. It's in San Francisco, so we'll see how it goes down.
Who y'all got right now? Y'all taking Niners?
I'm being the Niners right now. I think they're the most dominant team in the NFL is what it's looking like.
I'm gonna take the Niners, but I would put money on L-Jack winning that game.
Yeah.
Right, if the Ravens win, it's because L-Jack probably had like a 300-yard, 2-3 touchdown, probably one of them rushing type of performance.
I think it's pretty solid right now. The first ranked would be 49ers, second ranked would be the Ravens in the NFL. I think third, fourth, and fifth, you could interchange three different teams.
Yeah.
Just based on the week. But I think right now, Ravens and 49ers have solidified that they're the best two teams in the NFL.
Who do y'all have as their best team right now? Buffalo?
Who do you have as the best team, you said?
Third best team. Behind,
Third best team?
if we're going to say San Francisco, Baltimore 1-2 or 2-1, whoever you want to put there, is their best team right now.
Off recency, it would go. You know what? Let me just fact check this because I might have a hot take for that.
I don't know. I mean, after this last week, I would have had Dallas at third. After this last week, Dallas got stomped out. I mean, I would have still put Eagles at third, honestly, if they would have beat the Seahawks. I still don't think either Dallas or Eagles are bad teams. I still think they're great teams. They just have had mistakes, crucial mistakes that they cannot be making in the playoffs. I don't know if I could pick Kansas City up there. Miami, maybe. I just hate how we're going to have to see them against some real talent.
Yeah.
Just
They're
because
tough
their
games
defense,
this year. They just haven't won.
yeah. I mean, their offense looks like their best offense in the NFL right now based on stats, but easiest schedule in the NFL as well. So
I'm gonna go third best. I'll go Bills. Fourth, I'll go Lions. Fifth, Cowboys. But then, of course, you could change fifth for the Eagles if the Eagles finally get some momentum.
Yeah.
Did that cover NFL so far?
I mean, the last big game for next week will be the Lions-Vikings. Vikings are fighting it in their playoffs. The Vikings win that, and they almost secure their playoff spot.
Fuck, I don't want to see no fucking Vikings in the playoffs. I'm tired of that.
Yeah. And at this point, what other team do you want to see besides the Vikings? I feel like
I will
NFC is
take
so disappointing.
Seattle, Detroit, LA, Dallas, Philly, Tampa, San Fran, all of them. Those are the teams I want.
Seahawks over Minnesota, they say?
Oh yeah. Seattle in the playoffs. Seattle, Detroit first round. Stop it. No, that's gonna be families. We'll see. Because I like Pete Carroll trying to dice up Jared Goff. I like that matchup.
Yeah.
I like LA versus Dallas, and I like Philly versus Tampa. That's what I like.
Yeah, that wraps up all the notable NFL games next week.
We can go into some little NBA news
On to the court.
because
John Morant's back.
John Morant's back tonight. The Clippers are on a win streak. Now I got to take back my James Harden rant. Actually, no, I don't have to take it back because what happened still happened. They just happened to find some offensive flow. Now James Harden is damn near ballistic. Kawhi is starting to get better opportunities, and PG's playing smooth. The Clippers look good. Clippers look back into contender world. Nuggets still top dogs right now.
Okay, see, look good too.
Okay. Great.
Oh yeah,
I watched them
They'd be
pull out that fourth quarter comeback against the Nuggets. I saw that in person.
But let's be real here. Like in the playoff, I still think OKC needs one more piece, just one more.
What do you think they need?
Another big man?
Another big man. I think they should get marketing.
I mean, Lou Dort's been pretty dominant in the paint.
Yeah.
I like Lou Dort, but he's only 6'6".
Yeah.
You
Yeah,
think?
but dude weighs what, 270?
Okay, you put 270 up against Jokic and watch him get diced up. Jokic be sliding off dudes. It don't matter how big
I
you are.
mean, so Chad Holmgren's been averaging what, 7 blocks a game right now?
That's true.
Chad Holmgren's looking like the rookie of the year.
Oh yeah, Chet's gonna win because of the record. Wemby, it's hard to win rookie of the year when your team only won like 5 games. And also, I see that like San Antonio isn't passing Wemby the ball. Like I see Wemby having open cuts. I mean, he's 7'3". Just throw it to him. He'll dunk it. They're over there like, no, let's pass it for a 3 and miss. I'm like, all right, y'all.
You see that clip of Wemby rolling his ankle as he was trying to just ran back in there like nothing happened?
Yeah.
I didn't see that.
Shit was nuts.
Wow, yeah.
Yeah, I didn't see that.
Oh.
I ain't gonna lie.
Speaking of,
Go ahead. No, you good.
I was gonna say, speaking of rolled ankles, Bradley Beal comes in, plays 2 games,
And then does it
now he's
again.
out for 2 weeks, 3 weeks.
Yeah, we still haven't seen that
Phoenix
duo.
is in hell, man. KD is in hell.
I was gonna say KD is just cursed, bro. Every time he gets a good trio, nobody stays healthy.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, maybe it's a curse from him leaving the Warriors, right, when he had a perfect situation. But since Brooklyn, yeah, I mean, Kyrie Harden can't stay healthy. I mean, only the trio, Beal, Book, and KD only played 2 games. I mean, last year it was Aiden being on BS. I mean, KD just got bad luck. But KD could still hoop, though.
Yeah, it sounds like kind of had a disappointing season this year. I did not see them with a 500 ranking this far down the line, to be honest.
You didn't have what?
I didn't see them having a 500% or 500 win.
Yeah.
At this, I mean, they got a 538, but they're 14-12 right now. I did not expect that for the Suns this year.
I ain't gonna lie, I did, because I actually like Devin Booker at point guard. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
I like Devin Booker at point guard looks great to me. I mean, it's not natural, but like the way for that offense works, I mean, it's low-key smooth, right? I mean, obviously, I want to see how Bill implements in, because Bill will get like the corner open threes and stuff like that. That'll be easy cash. So I want to see how that implements in the playoff. But right now, it's a 2-headed race. Nuggets, Clips, Lakers still look good. I'm not counting them out. It's just Lakers are the Lakers.
What you got out east? Milwaukee looking good.
Bulls are back, bait. No, I'm just playing.
Milwaukee looks good. Boston, of course.
Honestly, I said Cavs would be dark horse. I think the Cavs need to blow it up. There's something happening there that's just, I don't know.
Yeah.
Donovan Mitchell will send him to like Miami or something, and then maybe they can be a contender. Miami back into it. But yeah, Bucks, Celtics, that's pretty much it. And then the Sixers, I feel like might need one more piece. Like they might, maybe they try to get Levine. I know his contract's a little big for them. I know Lakers are trying to get Debo. I'm like, I don't really know how that really works unless you're just trying to win this year, because Debo's going to be out the league in 3-4 years. Like, I don't know. NBA just, it's shaping up right now. And then, of course, John Morant. I mean, they're playing right now?
Yes. Yeah. John Morant. So we had John Morant's got 5 points, 2 for 5 shooting.
He's probably going to have a rusty game. I don't even expect him to win this game, but I do expect him to pick up the record. And then the Magic are being sneaky. But, yeah, I mean, the East is going to be like another 4-team race, while the West kind of is more open.
Can't forget about Luka.
I didn't even realize Timberwolves were number 1. Anthony Edwards was going crazy. Y'all hear that Anthony Edwards controversy, though?
100K, man. Yeah.
Send the video.
Send the video.
Let me ask y'all what do y'all think about the referees this season in the NFL? Because obviously, there's been more offside penalties this year than in the last 11 years. And that was all because it started before Tony, but Tony emphasized that point. Now the league is just all right, any offside, we call them that. Yeah. And then of course PIs have been a problem. But at the same time, it's more of a which game do you want to let them play? I just feel like they're so consistently bad with it that it just starts to really piss people off when it determines the outcome of games. If they were even just 5 or 10% better, right? I don't think we get as much criticism for them. But what y'all think?
I think that they're just under a huge microscope right now as far as everyone's paying attention to it. Obviously, players are calling them out, after the game.
Because they are determining the outcome of games, right? There have been some bad calls at the end of the game. There's been some great calls at the end of the game. So there have been some calls that didn't need to be called at the end of games. So it's just how do you balance that? How does Goodell balance that?
ARS. Yeah. The ARS is going to have to be a thing at some point. I mean, I don't know if that just adds too much, perfection to the game. Now that's the question you're going to have. Because if every flag is called on every play, I guess, everyone said it's holding on every play.
Oh, yeah, for
probably
sure.
pass interference on every play.
For sure.
I think the biggest thing right now is, they have this emphasis on player safety, which I get it and all that stuff. But the idea of, roughing the passer is called if the quarterback is touched.
That's the only one I'm not going to
questionable.
complain about because of the injuries this year and how egregious they are. You just gonna have to live with it, right?
Yeah.
You get a roughing the passing call, you just got to live with it. It's not even that much that often. It's a debilitating call when it happens, right?
Yeah.
It'll switch your whole flow up.
Well, see, with that being said, though, I don't think that Steelers safety should have been kicked out the rest of the season.
Yeah.
Well, when you
I think as a quarterback.
Did you watch the clips on his other ones? There were 2 clips where he definitely could have helped himself out right there, but then I think the other 3 might have been questionable.
I don't know. I feel like with the way that it was, they were fighting for that first down, and so I feel like the way he saw it, he was trying to prevent that first down by getting the extra yards. He hit him in the chin, don't get me wrong, but
I think my biggest problem with roughing the quarterback, roughing the passer, whatever you want to call it, personal foul flags are, because this happened in the Dallas game. The whole idea of a quarterback rushing in the open field and then just basically not even sliding, just dropping. In a live play, if a defensive player is chasing the quarterback, it's hard. It's damn near impossible to completely stop your body and not touch the dude when you've been running. You have a lot of momentum, so it's like having to pull up when the quarterback just drops and then touch him barely. It's going to be a flag.
That's also my problem with the hip drop, right? Because the hip drop is mostly used when you're trying to tackle from behind.
Yeah.
So, if you're a 250-pounder trying to chase down Devontae Adams, what are you trying to do? You're going to grab him, and then you got to use your weight. But if you try to swing, say you basically go in a Superman pose, pull him because you can't use your hips, you're going to end up hurting yourself because that ain't a natural way to tackle. You and I both play football. That's how to tackle. They teach you how to tackle. That's how. And then you go into the league and they're like, no, that's not how you do it. You're gonna get players hurt doing that.
Yeah.
So, the defensive players just don't have as much freedom. It's I don't know. It might be 2 touch in 10 years.
I'm looking at the statistics now. At this point of the season, this year, so by roughing the passer penalties, by this season there has been an equal amount of yards granted than in total of last year. So at this point of week 15, there's been about 1,200 yards called back.
That's why I'm if you really think about it, it's not that much often on the roughing the passer. That's consistent. If it's week 15, might have just called it a little bit more because of the injuries. So that's why I get why, but I'm not tripping as much on that one in particular. I'm just tripping on the ones that limit the defensive player from actually making plays.
Yeah.
Because at that point, we just gonna have 60-point game because they can't do nothing.
Yeah. Here's another one: defensive pass interference.
Yeah, what's that rate?
At this, it's about the same. So at
Really?
this point, last year in total there was 3,500 yards. At this point of the season, as of right now, there's 3,700 yards. So there's been, it looks like
that's actually a lot.
20% more calls this season than there was last.
But also, some of those can be like the Eagles game. Quez Watkins, that PI, they missed the call, but I didn't have a problem with it because Quez didn't fight for it, right?
Yeah.
If you're playing the game, it's a high intensity game. Yeah, that too. But you gotta fight for it. The ref's not gonna see it if you're not fighting for the ball. He gave up on the play. He was just expecting to get the call. You're not gonna get that all the time, especially if there's holding on every play.
I think there needs to be some sort of, I don't know if there's a review system they can have, but there's got to be a better way of judging the idea of a player just trying to get a call versus, an actual penalty. You know what I mean? Because there's it's kind of I go to basketball with it when DOA would do pump fake and then jump into players.
Yeah.
And shit. It's just stuff like that.
They do that though. I think AJ does that a lot. Because he's stronger than the receiver. If Jalen Hurts will underthrow the ball, he'll just kind of use his strength to just kind of back up.
I don't know if that is ruining the idea of football or if that's just being outsmarting the other team. But it sucks that it's just kind of what the league's come to is stuff like that where Josh Allen's flop when he gets touched. It sucks because like it's almost like taking advantage of the rules of the game. I know the idea is to win, but it's like there's got to be a better balance between actually like the flag being called versus like the flop.
Well, I think the flopping is gonna be necessary. So I remember NBA whenever Harden, back 5-6 years ago, every single time he'd go up, he's falling
Throwing his arms up.
every single
Him
time.
and LJ.
But then the rules decided to change. I think until players show that that's the only way that the players can show that they're getting fouled is by excessively flopping at this point. So I feel like as soon as Josh Allen is doing with the flopping, I feel like it's almost necessary to get the rules in place.
Josh Allen doesn't have to flop. He's like 6'4", 230.
Yeah.
Like if he falls, he falls.
He's got the size. Yeah, 100%. Here's another big one though. Illegal contact is up 30% this season compared to last.
I see a lot of illegal hits to the face. So I don't know if that's just something that's just being called more, or if that's just something that's just happening more. But I've seen about 3 of those.
I feel like that's still a call that's being missed too a lot though.
Yeah.
Like that shit is one of those. Y'all got anything else on the agenda?
That's about all I got. What are we at? About an hour and a half?
Just about. Yup, that'll close it out for this episode live in person. Probably y'all down to do it again next week?
Oh yeah, 100%.
For sure.
We got a crazy ass playoff prediction coming up this year.
Yeah, we got a lot of stuff. Next Tuesday, that's right after Christmas, so we'll have the NBA Christmas games, NFL games.
Yeah, it's going to be a busy week this next week. A lot of big games. Important games. A lot of 6 and 7 seeds fighting for it.
Yup. And we'll see if we come back with some more hot takes. But until then, we are signing out.
Good night, boys.
All right, sir.
Oh, y'all